Hi everyone, welcome to Safety Weekly this week. I'm going to touch on this week some new legislation in New South Wales in particular, but this has actually happened in a couple of other states as well, where they've brought in legislation to prevent companies from insuring against workplace or WHS fines is probably the simplest way to put it. So you can't use insurance to pay any fines you receive from the regulator, which personally I think is a good thing. You shouldn't be able to insure against that kind of thing. If you do the right thing, you're not going to get fined. So, and the fines, are mostly for serious breaches. They're not for, not having a lead test and tagged or anything like that. They are for gross negligence and where people get killed or seriously injured. So my personal opinion is that I think that should be the way it should be right across Australia. You shouldn't be able to insure yourself against any bad behaviour on your part, really. Because there's no grey area. I can understand insurance in terms of HR, because there are a lot of grey areas in HR. It can be hard to know exactly, whether you're doing all the right stuff. People can still put in claims against you and it can go to Fair Work and things like that. WHS is very much more clear cut. You have to have policies, procedures, training, inductions. You have to supervise people. All that stuff is laid out really clearly. So there's no grey area. If you don't do those things, then you should get in trouble, because you shouldn't be able to run a business where you're not looking after your staff, where it's not a safe environment, and where the public are at risk. There was recently one of the first manslaughter cases that has been through the courts up there. The company was fined $3 million, where a guy was unfortunately crushed by a forklift in a wrecking yard, and they were given a jail sentence of 10 months, but it was suspended, which probably, for me, I would have liked to see it not suspended, but because they just basically were running this business with no safety in place whatsoever, nothing. The guy operating the forklift was also prosecuted because he didn't have a license to operate a forklift. And so in these sort of circumstances, certainly I don't believe that there is any why you should be able to insure your way out of that. Because what is the penalty if you just pay for insurance and the insurance pays for your fines? I don't see that. There's no value in that. Human life is worth more than that, and it should be, I believe, right across Australia, you shouldn't be able to pay insurance to get you out of trouble in workplace health and safety. The best insurance you can have is just to put a proper system in place, and get your business protected. Make sure that your staff are protected. Make sure the public's protected. It's really not that expensive. An online system from us is like $99 a week for a full WHS support system, inductions, training, the whole works. If you want a paper-based system, it's $3,000. This is not a big expense. It'll be much cheaper than paying your insurance premiums, and it will protect not only your business but all of your staff and public as well. So I think that's a good thing that New South Wales are bringing that in. I hope they bring it in all around Australia. And I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you next week.